Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another beautiful day. Hopefully, it is a beautiful day wherever you guys are. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin, and we are going to listen to a little bit of Kraftwerk. We are going to listen to their album, The Man Machine, which was released in 1978. This is their 7th studio album. We last listened to Kraftwerk with their album Autobahn. You can find that in a playlist on the channel. And I was gifted the actual record here, which you can see. And I love the artwork. Ever since I first got this one, I love the artwork for it. So I already have it loaded up on the player over here. We're going to go ahead and give it a sample, give it a listen. And this was one of the albums from Kraftwerk that after and during the listening of Autobahn was recommended quite a bit. So it is time to get into the Man Machine. They're looking quite snazzy. There on the cover, they're looking pretty good, huh? So we're going to take this in two parts. The first side, which will be the robots, or Die Roboter, or Die Roboter, Space Lab, and Metropolis. Why did I say it like that? Metropolis? It's Metropolis. And then side two, which we'll listen to at some point in the future, The Model, Neon Lights, and The Man Machine, the title track. So I hope that you're going to enjoy this. Like I said, got it loaded up here. I'll have to adjust the volume as we get into it, but let's go ahead and get that started. That's a thing of beauty. Isn't it a thing of beauty to just watch that on the turntable? Let's go, guys. Enjoy the show.
Charging our battery, and now we are full of energy. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We're functioning automatic, and we are dancing mechanic. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. Я твой слуга, я твой работник. Я твой слуга, я твой работник. We are programmed just to do anything you want us to. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We're functioning automatic, and we are dancing mechanic. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. Я твой слуга, я твой работник. Я твой слуга, я твой работник.
Tell me that wasn't like the perfect listen. I don't know. For me, listen to the Man Machine. They set out and put out a bunch of promises. Let me stop that. They put out a bunch of promises. It's going on its own. And they fulfilled on each and every single one of them. When you take a look at this album cover, I think you get the exact personality of the band and what they're trying to present, and it comes through in a very, very rewarding way. I'm given exactly what I asked for. Listen to the robotic nature of the music. Yes, it's kind of cold. Yes, it's kind of mechanical. It sounds like it was put together on an assembly line. And yet there's still personality to it. There's still person behind it. Several persons, obviously. But it just moves together with a lot of heart. A lot of Deus Ex Machina, right? Heart of the machine, soul of the machine. There's a lot of soul in this machine. The synth lines that were driving the melodies in each of these tracks, I thought were always pleasurable to listen to. Especially the main one in Space Lab. Space Lab to me had the best synth line. I love it. It's so catchy. It's so atmospheric. Later in the track, it builds a little bit and changes the exact tone. And it makes it sound a little bit more dramatic. Just a little bit, you know? And I think that is so cool. The driving, pulsing rhythms and the bass lines also help to literally drive these vehicles down this vaporwave-like highway. You know, there's a lot of synth wave that you can hear in this. And think about how influential this album, Kraftwerk in general, must be. Because this was released, did I say 1978? Is that what I said? Yeah, 1978. 1978. Before Daft Punk. Before EDM. Before IDM. This I would put in the IDM category of intelligent dance music. Because it is definitely danceable. And that's what I also like about this. They maintain a lot of the characteristics that I had heard before in Autobahn, but make it a little more dancey. So this sounds like being in some cyberpunk club, and this would be like the music that'd be playing. Satisfying, melodic, a little glitchy, a little mechanical. Everyone's wearing some weird stuff. There's some weird styles in the future, but it has that synth wave, cyberpunk kind of sound to it. That's awesome. The vocals as well that occur are just as stoic as the four men presented to us on the cover. Just as stoic. And yet, they add so much warmth. They add a bit of soul to the personality here. I like how some of the vocals are spoken / sung just as through like a normal voice, and then other times through a vocoder. So you get a little bit of everything. I mean, this is just the first side of the album. This is my first time listening to the album, but I'm incredibly impressed with what we've been given here. I think that this was honestly a perfect side. I thought that this was great. I love the sounds of everything. They have such a wonderful way of working together. It really does feel like they are an assembly line. Each member of the group here, each one places one specific tool, one specific screw or nuts or bolts on the piece. And then the assembly line is just in a circle. So it comes back around to the members again. Maybe they remove something. Maybe they change something. Maybe they repair something. So each of the pieces are constantly evolving, never staying the same, and yet, in a way, they do stay the same. IDM, intelligent dance music. There's intelligence, you can dance to it, and there's for sure a lot of music. So let's go over just a few things from here. Now, there's not many lyrics that we have to really go over, but starting with the robots, the lyrics there are, we're charging our battery, and now we're full of energy. A lot of energy there, definitely. We are the robots, which they repeat. We're functioning automatic, and we are dancing mechanic. We are the robots. Then there's some Russian that's spoken, which translates to, I am your servant, I am your worker. We are programmed just to do anything you want us to do. So they are taking the personas of robots who, for lack of a better word, are just carried by the whims of humans that control the robots, right? Like literally. I mean, like we all, I'm using at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least 6 robots in this room. Hopefully none of which can kill me. This actually sounds like music Skynet would be bumping as they're destroying humans. But yeah, so they're functioning automatic. They're dancing mechanic. they're dancing their own way. We are the robots. There's nothing more to read into it than that. They are who they say they are. And then I think the other tracks just don't really have many more lyrics than that. I think they actually just repeat some of the lines that we hear, like Space Lab. He literally just says Space Lab. And then in Metropolis, he just says Metropolis. So there's not much to look at. Now, Metropolis, that one was interesting because it did have, at least to me, a light urban kind of style in which I see a futuristic city with like huge skyscrapers. I'm not even talking big skyscrapers. I'm talking like cloud touching skyscrapers to where they block the sun. All nature has been removed. It's a slight dystopian feel, but not quite. You know, I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm thinking a little dystopian. I'm thinking something between like the newest Dread movie that came out, like what was it, Mega City 1 or Mega City whatever number it was, and something a little more clean. You kind of get both sides depending on what side of the city you're on. It's futuristic and clean, or not as much. But either way, you have this huge sprawling metropolis that covers as far as the eye can see, and Metropolis, that's what at least it reminded me of. And then the robots is just a very straightforward mechanical introduction, really, to the robots. You know, even as it describes technology and robots, it also, in a way, introduces the band as they are and as they are presented here. So let's see if there's any other kind of interesting notes about this one. It says that the album was initially unsuccessful on the UK albums chart, but eventually it did reach a new peak position of 9 in February of 1982. So that would be, 4 years after the album's release, becoming the band's second highest peaking album in the UK after Autobahn. I think that this is really interesting. It says that when the song is performed live, speaking of the robots, the band is traditionally replaced by robots that resemble themselves. That is really, really funny, really taking that to the next level. Man, you can see just how much inspiration current electronic artists got. Like, I'm speaking specifically of like Daft Punk, even Deadmau5, and, you know, like that taking on the robot itself, that becoming your persona, your public persona. That is so cool to to see, like, at least in part, where this came from. I don't know. I thought that this was a great listen. I hope that you guys enjoyed the music as well. Hope you enjoyed the presentation with the actual vinyl, because I think that that adds a little bit of a new dimension to it as well. But let me know your thoughts on these 3 tracks. We'll continue the album with the next side at some point in the near future, but I hope you enjoyed this for now. You can, of course, follow me in a bunch of different areas. You can support the channel on Patreon. You can do so many things, but I hope that you come back tomorrow, and I'll see you then, guys. Bye.